Now we
Hey guys. Hey guys, it's Saira. I'm here with Jenny Melrose today, and I'm really excited about this training. I know a lot of you are thinking about coming up with products, but you're not quite ready yet because you don't have your email list. And Jenny's come up with a brilliant way to do both things at the same time. She built her email list while she was prepping for this product launch, and it totally worked, and it sounds really pretty awesome. I mean, I'll let Jenny tell you because it works, and I'm excited for this training, and I use this. So Jenny, please tell us everything you know.
I will do my absolute best. So I am Jenny Melrose. I am so excited that you guys were able to come and get on here live. I know that 11 o'clock in the middle of the day, depend if you're East Coast, can be difficult. So I appreciate you taking the time to get on. I'm hoping that you have your worksheet that I sent to you in multiple emails, because I love to send emails. I'm known for that. And if you do, if you're able to print it out, if you have it in front of you, definitely take notes right on it. If you don't have it in front of you and you don't have a chance to print it right now, that's okay, but make sure you print it out and use it to kind of create your funnels, because we're going to talk about funnels and like how to go about building those and how to put those together. So what I am actually going to do is I am going to share my screen. You guys ask as many questions as you want. I love being interrupted. So for those that don't know, I'm a former inner city school district teacher. So I was used to being in the middle of teaching and having kids in like 4 different groups, and a chair would get thrown at my head and I would just keep teaching. So I'm used to being interrupted, and I love when people ask questions. So let's make sure we're asking tons of questions. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Saira, will you tell me if you can see it or not, or if I'm just gabbing at myself as usual? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep, I see it.
Perfect. Okay. So you guys are here for a challenge builder. We're going to be creating challenges to grow a targeted audience that's actually primed to buy. Okay, so that is the biggest thing that I find, that people put together a challenge and they kind of are like, well, why am I doing this? Well, we're going to talk to you about why you're doing it. So just a really quick introduction, because I know some of you already know me from working with brands, e-course. I still have, I say formally, it's so silly, the Melrose Family, where I create quick and easy recipes and projects for busy parents. I've been over there for over 6 years. It replaced my teaching salary, and I now do this full time. And once I was able to do it full time, I pivoted because I was having bloggers continuously ask me how to do certain things, whether it was working with brands, whether it was building their email list. And I decided, you know what, I need to create a resource so that they can just go there, because I don't have enough time to sit on Facebook all day and answer all these messages that I get. So I created jennymelrose.com. And with that, I also created the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast. So if you listen to podcasts, please download me and subscribe. We have some amazing guests that come on that I interview and kind of talk about where their expertise is. Saira has been on. She did an amazing interview on Twitter. I actually was just looking at all my downloads, Saira, and that is the most downloaded episode that I have so far. So yes, yay. So proud of you. So we get a ton of great guests, and always trying to make sure we continue to learn. All right, so we're gonna really just dive right in. I'm all about making sure that I teach and get to the point. With this was the worksheet that I sent you. And I know it looks like just an image, but this is literally what I use. And there's all this white space because I want you to kind of create your own funnel, write down what you have. So we're gonna start from the bottom up rather than top down, okay? So I want you to think about, what products do you have? What services even do you offer? Now, if you don't have a product or service, that's okay. We're going to talk about how you can start to identify what might work out really well as a product or service for you, okay? So this would be your sale, would be your product. That would probably be a higher price product. It might include some video training in it. It might have video just in general. It doesn't have to be teaching how to blog, obviously. If you are a clean eating coach and you wanted to do a course in clean eating, that could be your course. So it could be anything here. It could also be a membership site. Again, it could be services. So if you're a coach, those would be some of your services. The next step up is going to be your tripwire. And I use a tripwire And when I talk about a tripwire, I mean something that's a lower price product, that's maybe an ebook or maybe like a one-off video training where it's going to be less than $20. And the purpose of this is to get people to hand over money and become customers. Once people hand you money and they are a customer, they end up purchasing more often from you. And I have a perfect actual example of this. I was at the Everything Food Conference a couple weeks ago, and I was speaking on building challenges. And I was sitting at a table with one of my girls that is in my membership site. And she and I are going back and forth. And there's another girl across the table that doesn't know us. And she said, oh, do you guys work together like on the same site? I said, oh, no. I said, she's actually, and it's Stacy, Saira, so you know who I'm talking about. Stacy says, oh no, we don't work together. I said, she's actually a member of my membership site. And Stacy turns to me and goes, and a student of your Working with Brands course, and a student of your Sequence to Launch course. And she just kept listing the things that she's purchased from me. Because what happens is once someone is purchased and sees that they can have a transformation and that their money is well spent, they will continue to buy from you. There's a rule that's called the 80-20 rule of sales and marketing. It's written, there's a book actually that's written by Perry Marshall. And he says that 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your population. So once you get someone to purchase, it's going to be that much easier for them to continue to purchase because they've already handed over money. So that's why you want to have a tripwire. The next part to get them further down into your funnel is going to be a challenge. And we're going to talk about all the reasons why and how to do this and how to go about promoting it. But I just wanted to kind of show you where it falls. And I feel it falls there because it teaches your audience to engage with you and they get to know you more. Then your top part is it could be called a lead magnet, your opt-in, your freebie. This is normally a one-page PDF, something simple that they can just download and use. So it could be a checklist. It could be a conversion chart. It could be like a daily prayer, whatever it might be, but the most important part of this to understand with a sales funnel is that everything needs to be aligned. Whatever your opt-in is, it needs to be in line with your challenge and your tripwire and your sales. So to give you a perfect example, over on the Melrose family, I use essential oils. We have an essential oil e-course that falls into here. It's a $99 product that teaches people how to use their essential oils and all the background and everything that goes into essential oils. There's then a tripwire. It's an ebook that shows them that they can use their oils to replace certain home products that they normally have some sort of chemicals in. The challenge is a chemical freedom challenge that it teaches them how to take chemicals out of their house. So obviously this tripwire makes it really simple because these are DIYs that they're teaching them how to do it. And then the opt-in for this is just a simple one-page PDF that shows them how to replace certain things. It's just a list. Use this instead of this. Use this instead of this. Very simple, but you see how everything is aligned. Everything makes sense to get them down to the final product. That's the purpose of a sales funnel. All right, so
I love this because this works for any niche. No matter what you're talking about, this works. That's what I love about this.
It definitely does. And the challenges especially, and I think challenges kind of scare people because when they think of challenges, they think of like these huge, long things that it's like a challenge for like fitness. That's the thing that came to mind at first when I thought of a challenge was like a fitness challenge. Oh, I'm going to try to lose some weight because you can see a transformation. But that doesn't have to be the case. So let's talk about why you want to actually use a challenge. And one of the first things that comes to mind for me is that you see a transformation in a challenge. You want your audience to see that they started off as this little caterpillar and they turned into this beautiful butterfly. And it doesn't have to be something huge. A challenge should not be a 5-day challenge to pay off debt. Okay, let's just make sure we understand that. You can't do a challenge where it's this ginormous concept that they're not going to be able to do. You could do a precursor to paying off debt. So understanding 5 days to jumpstart getting ready to pay off debt. It's something that they can jumpstart in basics, get them set up and started. The other reason that I love challenges is it turns your audience from a cold audience into a warm audience. It gives them an opportunity to engage with you and really get to know you. We're going to talk about ways that you can actually do this with calls to action and incorporating certain aspects. But when you have a challenge, you get a lot of interaction, and that's what you need in order for people to purchase. Okay. Another reason, and this seems kind of silly, but when I say this to people, they're like, oh yeah, that does make sense. It teaches them to open their email. I'm going to talk about all of the elements of a challenge, but when you're creating a challenge, it needs to be sequential. So it's day after day. So if you start on a Tuesday, it would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, however many days it is, all right in a row. And what you're doing is you're teaching them, open my email every single day, so that on day 6, when there isn't a challenge, and I'm going to teach you what you're going to send on day 6, they open your email. That is the hardest part often for people, is getting people just to open their emails, because we don't have a very large attention span, let's be honest. Okay. Another reason that a challenge is great is because as the person that's creating the challenge or running the challenge, it shows your expertise. It lets them see where you are confident and obviously know what you're talking about. If people can see through a challenge that you know what you're talking about, they're going to be more likely to purchase your product or to continue with you and ask questions. Okay. This is one of my favorite quotes as a former teacher, because I truly believe in this process. As a teacher in my classroom, this is what I tried to do. And the quote says, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I'll learn. And it's by Benjamin Franklin. So think about your kids. Your kids probably, when they do those science projects, those are the things that I remember. Those are the things your kids remember, because they're able to apply a concept and involves them, and they end up learning what the purpose is and what it is that they've put together. So that's the same thing with the challenge. You're involving them. You're getting them in the trenches, making them do the work with a call to action and homework so that they can actually apply it themselves and feel like, oh, look what she was able to do. She's a great teacher. I want to learn everything from her or him. Okay, so let's talk about how you would actually decide on a challenge. If you don't already have a product, what you can do is you can actually look at your Google Analytics. Look and see what's driving traffic already to your site. Look at Pinterest. If you have a pin that is viral, that routinely brings you traffic every single day, that could very well be something that you could create a product for. So look and see what your audience is already coming to you for, because if that pin is continually bringing in traffic, we're going to get something into that post that's going to get them on your email list, that's going to talk about a challenge, that's somehow going to involve them. Okay. The other area that you could always tune into is your expertise. When I started JennyMelrose.com, I had a list of 0, and that was in September of 2016, just this past fall. I launched my Working with Brands e-course with a list of 0. I put in place a challenge, and my list grew to over 1,000 in about a month and a half. We then did a $30,000 launch is what we ended up doing. And we started with a list of 0, because what happened was I knew my expertise. I knew people were coming to me all the time, asking me about how to work with brands. How do I do a sponsored post? What should it look like? What can I say to them? I always got those questions. And finally, I just realized I need to just teach this. I need to show other people how to do this. And that's what I ended up doing. And you can do the same thing. So think about, where is your expertise? Even if you're not getting questions, think about, like, are you a former teacher like I was? Or do you have just a past that was involved in like business or something where you can kind of turn towards it and lean on that as the part of your expertise? And then again, with here, it has to be aligned to a product. You cannot create something and the challenge not be aligned to what it's going to be. It sounds like you have a musician over there, Saira.
Can you tell my 2-year-old did not go to nursery school today? Yes, Mom's going to be on the phone. Please be quiet. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh my goodness, that never ever works. Let's be honest. I love it. It's background music. Perfect. All right, and Saira, will you still keep an eye on the questions for me, just in case there's a question that pops up like in the middle?
Yes, I will.
And we'll definitely go back to those as well. So if I go too fast and we skip through it, we'll just come back to it. But okay, so these are the elements of a challenge that you have to have. Needs to be in sequential days. So we talked about this kind of in the beginning. If you're doing 5 days, it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, however it works. But it needs to go in a row. You cannot do a challenge where you're going to do once a week, send them an email. Because what's going to happen is your open rate is going to bottom out towards the end, which is when you're looking to get them to purchase something. So you don't want to have it spread out. It's these emails do that when you put together a challenge, you do it as in email sequence. They don't need to be huge emails. They can be 300 words. So you also need to have an identifiable subject line. So I just normally will use the name of the challenge and what day it is. Sometimes I'll put in there what topic we're covering. But if I'm doing a clean eating challenge, it's going to say clean eating challenge day 1. So they know what I'm coming to them for, okay? I also highly believe in having a friendly tone when you write these. So it was interesting because I had a webinar earlier this week with Kirsten Oliphant, and Kirsten was saying that there's this one person whose sales funnel she got into, and the emails, they always started off with, yo mama. That's how they start their emails. And she's like, I know I can't purchase from her because I can't handle the way that she talks. And that's okay. There are certain people that you are not going to be able to learn from. And there are certain people that are not going to be able to learn from you. And that is totally fine. You need to repel some people because you don't want them to end up being a refund down the road where it's just a total headache. So write the way that you speak. If you say, yo mama, then write it. But if that's not the way that you speak, like make sure it's the tone that you use of the things that you would say. Okay. Now this is the part where the teacher in me really comes out, and is part of the reason why I feel like I'm so confident when it comes to a challenge. You need to create a mini lesson where you're going to teach them something. Now, this doesn't have to be teaching them, like I said earlier, how to pay off debt in a day. Like, that's not what you're looking to do. You're just looking to give them the basics. So if I was going to be doing, let's say, the debt thing that we were talking about earlier, if I was going to have them do a jump start to get ready to pay off debt, maybe one of my days I'm talking to them about the elements of a debt snowball. Okay, and I obviously listened to Dave Ramsey. So if you don't listen to Dave Ramsey, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and you probably should. So listen to Dave Ramsey, but that's a whole nother topic here. With a debt snowball, so your mini lesson would be explaining what the debt snowball works, how your biggest item is what you're supposed to pay off first. Your homework or call to action within that email is going to tell them, hey, hit reply and tell me if you know what your items on your debt snowball would be. Or, hey, hit reply or come into the Facebook group and share what your largest item is if they feel comfortable, because obviously now we're talking about money, so it can always kind of be touchy. But give them a call to action with homework where they're going to either hit reply and talk to you directly, or they're going to come into a closed Facebook group that you have that's part of your challenge and like part of the community that you've created. Okay, so now I always get asked this question, and that's, okay, great, I've created this awesome challenge, Jenny. Now, how do I get people to join in? So this is the promotion piece of it. Where can you put it? So I kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking about the Google Analytics. I said, if someone's already coming to your specific post, it's the perfect place to put a content upgrade in there. And that's exactly what this is. This is a screenshot of one of my posts where I was talking about essential oils, and it was like a DIY that I put together. And I talk about it right here. Be sure to join in our free 10-day challenge here so they can click. Or there's a button right here, an image. Too often I see bloggers that will have ads on their site. There's nothing wrong with that. I have ads on my site. But we have ads in the middle of our content, and it's going out to wherever it is, and we get a couple pennies whenever they click on it. Why don't we have ads to ourselves to grow our email list? So literally, this is in the middle of my content. It worked that it kind of fit right here, but in other ones, I may not be talking about join the free challenge here, and then I'm putting this clickable image. I might just be putting it in the middle of my content, just like an ad shows up. So you create this image, you make it clickable so it goes to your landing page so they can sign up for the challenge. and it's already in content that's doing really, really well. So this particular item is on like how to clean your shower head, and it's been featured on BuzzFeed and gone nuts on Pinterest. So I continually have people coming and signing up for the challenge from this specific post because of it. Okay. So another way that you can go about promoting it, and I want to be very, very clear on this and make sure that everybody understands. So if there's a question on this, please ask. You can promote in other Facebook groups, not pages, Facebook groups. So I'm talking about like closed Facebook groups. Now, before you go running into a closed Facebook group and you're like, haha, Jenny told me I can go post in there, I'm gonna spam the crap out of them. That's not what I want you to do. First, I want you to go read their rules, because if an admin has it in there that you are not to leave a link in your first post, which is how I run my groups, then you don't leave your link in your post. But a lot of times the admin will allow links in the comments because it can provide additional information. So if someone's asking about essential oils in a mom's group, I might go in and answer that question. Now the key is I'm answering their question. I'm not just going in and saying, hey, yeah, I know that answer. Here's my free 10-day challenge. Join in. And I put my link. No, I have to show my expertise. Again, I have to show that I know what I'm talking about so they can feel like they can trust me, answer their question, and then say, you know, if you're looking for additional resources, we have this great free 10-day challenge. Feel free to join in. It's just less icky. It comes across as you're really trying to help, because you are. When you create a product, that product normally is created or should be created because you're trying to help someone with something, whatever it is. And it can be your expertise and you can still make money off of it, but it's normally created with the purpose of helping others be able to do something with themselves, with their lives or their family or their money, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's my little 2 cents on Facebook groups. And then another way is to create a pinnable image. We use Pinterest all the time. Pinterest drives about 80% of my traffic over at the Melrose family. So why wouldn't I continue to use Pinterest as a traffic driver, right? So this is just a pinnable image that I made. It's not actually on the landing page. What I do is I upload it to Pinterest, and then I put the link to my landing page, and it just drives it straight there. So if people click on this in Pinterest, they come straight over to my landing page to sign up for my Chemical Freedom Challenge. It's really simple and easy to do it. And then one of the last ways is to invite people. So you probably already have a list. You have people that have opted in. Otherwise, they've come in from a hello bar, whatever it might be. So you want to invite those people to join into your challenge. And all I do is I send out a simple email and saying, hey, listen, we've created, I'd love for you guys to join in. Just click here and we'll get you in and get you started. And the great thing is that you can then see them move further down your funnel, because they're going to go from just being at the top with the lead magnet to then being into your challenge. Now, sometimes people will entirely skip portions of your funnel, so they may come in right on the challenge. That's great. It's an opportunity to engage with them more.
Well, you know, I'm the crazy Twitter lady, so I would go to Twitter, find a big list of 1,000 people who are already interested in oils, and then start talking to them. Hey, I've got this challenge. Hey, I've got this challenge. Hey, I've got this challenge. It's a quick way to reach lots of people. So yes. That's my avenue of choice. You can find lots and lots of people on Twitter, but most people know I'm the crazy Twitter lady. So.
But there's nothing wrong with being the crazy Twitter lady, because it works for you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a perfect way to do it. Because again, it's showing your expertise. It's showing them that you know what you're talking about. Because I'll have a conversation with you possibly and ask questions about it, and you can answer, and then they'll join in. So absolutely, I love that. Okay, so now a lot of the people, many people that come through my course and through my membership site will say to me, okay, great. They've gone through this challenge, but now what do I do with them? I'm like, what do you mean, what do you do with them? You turn them into customers. And they're like, well, I don't understand how to do that. So one of the great ways to just be able to do this is closed Facebook groups. Closed Facebook groups are amazing. And I actually just had someone earlier this week that said to me, Jenny, I've been on your list since October, and I have done every one of your challenges. I have gone to every single one of your live feeds. Everything that you have done, I've gone to. And I've just been waiting until I had income coming in that I could invest in one of your products. She's been sitting in my Facebook group, though, watching everything. And that's what happens. Just because they don't purchase this launch doesn't mean they won't purchase 3 launches down the road or purchase a different product. You never know where they are on their journey of learning and growing their income. So you have closed Facebook groups are absolutely one of the best ways to do it. And I love them. Another great way is to turn participants into customers by having that tripwire. So we talked about in your sales funnel, that tripwire that you will have. Well, now people are like, okay, great. Well, I have a tripwire. How do I get it to them? You have a bonus day in your challenge. Very simple. So if you have a 5-day challenge, you have a bonus day 6 where you're like, hey, you guys did an awesome job. Can't get over how great you've done on removing chemicals from your home. Here's my ebook that actually teaches you how to make certain things with your oils to replace the chemicals in your home. And there it is. You just sold to them, most likely, to become a customer to buy your ebook. You've shown them, though, that your ebook is the next step. That is the purpose of your challenge, is to show them that the obvious next step is to purchase your product, whatever it is. Now, again, some people may step clear right over this tripwire and they're going to go straight to your course. There's nothing wrong with that. So, but you want to give them an opportunity to have a tripwire in there. Another great way to do it and to keep them around and to get them to participate and to becoming customers is to have a welcome sequence. So for all of my sales funnels, there's a welcome sequence where I introduce myself. I tell them why it is I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So if it's oils, I explain where that's coming from. If it's meal planning, I explain. And then I do some myth busting in my next email. And then in my following email, I'm probably getting them ready to understand that I have a larger product that I'm looking to sell. And I don't clearly say that, but I talk about, like, you've done this, now look at this great thing, and this is going to walk you through the entire process. And I'll go into like some of the assets of the product. Okay, now one of my absolute favorite ways to get participants to become customers is via Facebook Live or YouTube Live or Periscope or webinars, just like this. So when you can get in front of your customers and you can get, or not even your customers, in front of your participants, people that are done your challenges, they get to know you. They get to understand, okay, are her like principles in line to mine? Like, is she doing this for the right reasons? One of the biggest things that I have learned since launching my first course is that people don't purchase because they need it. People purchase because of me and why I've put it together. My reasoning behind my courses has always been because I know what it's like to have this side hustle and want to turn it into a full-time income, and not having the resources at my fingertips to be able to do it, and struggle and know that stress that comes with it. I don't want that for other people. So what I try to do is create products that make it simple for them to be able to make money so that they can continue to invest in their business and grow. And that is what is key, because it allows people to really understand who I am and what they're going to get from me. They know what to expect. So I need you to remember something really important. This is not just theory. This is the practices that I put in place. It was how I was able to have a first launch that did over $30,000 in revenue. Like I said, 0 list, put a challenge in place, 1,000 subscribers in about a month, and then we were able to do over $30,000. So what's this really all about, right? Well, it's about money. Yes, we'd all like to do snow angels, or shall I say money angels. But that money gives you the time to have freedom to do what you need to do. When I was doing this as a side hustle, I was a full-time teacher in inner city school district. My drive was, I did a 3-hour commute every single day, and I felt like I never ever saw my kids. Now I'm home with my kids and I do this full time. It has given me the freedom that if I need to take off tomorrow to go on a field trip with one of my kids, I can do that. Whereas before I never could, which in turn relieves stress. Let's be honest. When you're doing this and you're trying to do it as a business, one of the biggest questions that I always got asked from my husband is, is there any money, or are you just blogging? You're just blogging today? And I'm like, it used to drive me crazy when are you over there blogging? That's what I'm doing. I'm just over here blogging. But once consistency actually occurred, and I was able to know when certain amounts were coming in, all of this was taken care of. You're just able to know when you have a product that you're able to launch and you're able even to have it evergreen, you can kind of tell from previous months what's going to end up coming in. And it just makes life much simpler. So I'm not sure why you showed up today, if it's because you find yourself lost as how to launch a product, or if it was because you can't seem to get anyone to buy your product. Yeah, I've been there. Or if it was because you just really want to see an increase in your income. I hope you really get this one thing. Going on the journey that I have gone on, discovering with a lot of trial and error that launching a product was how I needed to make a full-time income, really changed the way that I do things. It's something that you can do. It's a process though. You can, in a very short period of time, be in the same situation. So of course, the obvious question becomes, how do I apply all this? Well, you have a choice. You can do it slow using trial and error and some of what I've taught you today, or you can actually do it quickly using mine and Becky Mansfield's full process. So for those that are not familiar with Becky Mansfield writes Your Modern Family, and if you saw her income report last month, she has had products for years on her site. Just her products in Your Modern Family did over 6 figures last month. So this girl knows how to sell a product, and she is a parenting blogger that sells books on potty training and courses how to declutter. But what we have done is we've put together a Sequence to Launch e-course, and Saira is actually one of our students that's in there right now, because she, of course, is getting ready to launch.
And Becky's blown my mind because she makes it so simple. It's so clear and easy. I'm like, why am I overcomplicating this? It's not that complicated. She does it beautifully. She's a good teacher.
Yes.
As are you. But I'm new to her, so I was just blown away.
Yes. She is also a former teacher. So it's that, we both taught for so many years, we kind of have that innate in us. So the Sequence to Launch e-course that we were actually just talking about, that Saira is also a student of, has 9 different video modules. Each module consists of 4 to 7 videos that you do not have to sit down and watch and feel like, oh my God, I don't have enough time for this. You can literally just listen to it. Like if you need to play it on your phone, you can do that and be able to move around and clean and just listen to it. We give you 20 different swipe copies of our emails. So we literally give you the emails that we send when we're launching a product, because you have to send emails to your list in order to do this. We give you multiple ready-to-use schedules. This, for me, was the biggest part, because when I first launched, I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing on what day. And again, it was a ton of trial and error for me. Should I be pre-launching? Should I be sending this email? Should I be sending that email? Should I be doing a live? We make it really simple by giving you our exact schedules. And what we've done is Becky has a larger list and I have a small list. So we split it up so that I did a long launch with no list and she did a short launch with a large list. And you can pick and choose what will work best for you and your personality and your list size. So that also includes our private Facebook group, which Saira can attest for this. I'm a little bit of a psycho. As soon as someone posts, I'm like, oh my God, I have to answer their question. It's getting to a point where I'm gonna have to really set hours where I gotta stay out of it at 2 in the morning. But we're very involved. Both of us are in there, especially when you tag us. Becky and I both make sure to get over there. All right.
Good customer service. What are you thinking? If you tag Jenny, she will write you back.
Yeah. I'm a little crazy about it. I'm working on it. So obvious question becomes, how much will this cost me, right? Well, this cost me thousands of dollars and hours because I toiled through learning these specific steps. So for you, we actually have 3 different tiers of pricing for the course. There is the signature, the masters, and the consultation tier. It's all Sequence to Launch though. So with all 3 of these tiers, you get the Sequence to Launch e-course, you get an additional productivity video training, a Pinterest training, which is very introductory, and the private Facebook group. And the price of the course is $297, and you can we have a payment plan where you can actually start at $79. And then the master's tier, which is what Saira is part of, includes a year membership to my membership site. And with that membership site, you get once a week one-on-one Skype calls for 15 minutes with me. So it's kind of like having a coach where you get to meet with them once a week. And if you get stuck, I give you the swift kick in the behind to keep you moving forward. That is probably the biggest thing that people love about it, because they get that one-on-one time with me.
Yeah, that's my favorite part for sure. It's so easy to get into your calendar, and then I know that I can talk about whatever I want, ask my question, and move forward. I basically go from feeling stuck and frustrated to feeling very inspired and motivated. In 15 minutes, you can do that for me. I love it.
Yes. And then that was my intention with it, because I felt like 60 minutes can be, it can be overwhelming, and you can feel like, oh my God, where do I move from here now? I have this laundry list of things I need to get done. But 15 minutes once a week, like every single week, you have a problem, we move you forward. Or if you have a question where you just almost, it's like you need affirmation, you're on the right path, but just kind of need someone to say, does this make sense? I'm there for that. And it's nice to have someone that isn't so personal, so close to your project, because a lot of times we get so close to our project that it's hard to look at it and be like, what could I tweak? So I tried to do that.
Well, it's that, but it's also, being a blogger, like I'm home, I talk to my husband and my mom, maybe some people on Facebook, but it's different to have somebody who's looking at your business or your blog or your product and giving you feedback because they have experience. That's a totally different thing.
Yes. No, absolutely. No, I totally agree. With that, we also do weekly Facebook Live trainings where I comment any questions that people have on like specifics as far as like email, if it's a challenge, if we're going to be talking about Pinterest, whatever it might be. And I do a training weekly. We also have a monthly training that a master in the blogging world will come in. So we've had someone for this month, someone came in and talked about financial health as far as your businesses, what it should look like for a profit and loss statement. We had someone come in and talk about keywords and SEO. And we've had a lawyer come in. So we've had a lot of different people that will come in. And the great thing about the membership site is that when you join, you get immediate access to all of it. All of the past trainings, all of the past webinars, everything is there for you. And that price is $497. The consultation is the final piece, and this one is just a little bit different because you still get a 1-year access to the membership site, but you also get a 60-minute one-on-one. So we can really dive in and take a look at your entire business, give you a plan to move forward, and then do touch 15-minute once a week. I can touch base on those items that we talked about in the consultation. So to sum it all up, if you want to launch a product without wasting time and money, then there's really honestly no better system. This is exactly what I needed when I started. It would have saved me a tremendous amount of time, frustration, and money. You get all of the modules in video format with supporting swipe copies and schedules immediately. Nothing is dripped out. You get immediate access to everything. Plus, you'll have the full support of both Becky and myself throughout the process in our private Facebook group. And that is all that I have for you, but I do have something I told you in your emails that I was going to do a little something. I always like to give bonuses for anyone that purchases. So what I am going to do for you guys, I'm trying to stop so I can come to you. You can see my beautiful face as I'm talking to you. For all of you guys, what I'm going to do is if you purchase while we're still live taking questions, I'm going to throw in a 30-minute one-on-one where we're going to literally establish your challenge from start to finish. So in 30 minutes, we will have your challenge ready to go to be put into your email, all set up and done. I normally do those for $200. So I'm adding that in. If you purchase while we're still live, if you're watching the replay, I will be sending you bonus. It may not be as good as that one. That one's like my really, really good bonus. So are there any questions, Saira, that you're seeing? I heard like little beeps as we were going through.
We've got a couple. Lori asked, does she have to have a finished product before she can promote her challenge?
No. Oh my goodness. And I'm just looking at So sorry, I checked over. Isn't that Lori is the one that asked that? And I'm looking, her husband is from where I grew up in New York. So I'm like, wait a second, what? So Lori, if you're still here, I grew up actually in Pauling and I taught in Poughkeepsie. So, and I don't know how old your husband is, but if he's in one of those towns, I may know him. Okay, what was the question? I totally got sidetracked when she said that he was from. It's like, what? If she needs a finished product, right?
Yes, before she should start promoting her challenge.
No, absolutely not. The nice thing about this is even if your product isn't done, you can always go back in once it is. Like if it's a tripwire or if it's a full price product, you can go back into that email sequence and add that as a bonus day to be able to trip them with that product. But you don't need to have it right away. When I created the Chemical Freedom Challenge for the essential oils. The essential oil course was not done. I had an idea where I was going. I knew that I was probably going to be creating a course. I knew it was going to go along the lines of essential oils, and I was going to be pushing buttons of moms that want to get, chemicals out of their home. So I would definitely recommend having an idea of where you think you want to go so that it's aligned, but you don't need to have it done and ready to go in order to start your challenge. I think that answers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheila said, how did you grow your list so fast? I think Sheila might have joined a little bit late, but I think that's everybody's challenge. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't grown my email list. I have to do that first, and then I can figure out my product. So they get stuck.
Right.
They don't move forward because they haven't done the email list part yet.
And that's one of the great things about me is because now Becky, like I said, she had a list of over 100,000 when she was launching her products. Like she just had a huge list. So you'll see in the course that hers is much shorter. She does it in 10 days. Whereas my launch was a month long because I didn't have anyone. And I gave you challenges was a huge part of how I grew my list. But then I also list off a bunch of all the other tactics that I put in place for my pre-launch that helps me grow my list and really helps me engage with my audience and give them the opportunity to get to know me. So if you actually, if you hit the buy now button, it'll take you over to that sales page and it'll show you the curriculum. You'll be able to see exactly everything that we cover. And if you're looking at it and you look at the long launch part, it's broken up by pre-launch and actual launch. So you can see that challenges was huge. It was definitely a large part of what I did, but there's also a bunch of other strategies that we go through and we teach exactly how to do it. And we're not just, and it's not the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that when you are growing your list, it needs to you have to make sure that it's targeted. You don't want people to just get on your list and never open your emails or interact with you. All you're doing then is paying for people to sit on your list. That's not the kind of list that I have or that Becky has. Becky has a list of 100,000. They buy. They are constantly clicking and engaging and asking questions and purchasing from her because we have these tactics and the strategies in place to make it so that they understand who we are and where we're coming from with our products.
She has this 20-minute 20-minute video in the course that I've watched 3 or 4 times since I've joined. And I like it because she's got all the swipe emails there, the sample emails. But when she's talking you through it, you get the logic behind each of them. And I watched it through once and I had to go through again and I pause it and I write things down because I really like hearing on day 2, you want to get this out of it. So it's not just about copying her email. It's about oh, I need to accomplish this with my audience. So now I need to think about how to do that. It's great. It's really helpful.
Yes. No, she's really good at explaining why she's having you do something. She doesn't just tell you to do it. She's going to tell you what the reasoning behind it is so that you can understand, if you're not in the same niche that she's giving an example to, how to kind of extract it and make it so that it makes sense for your audience and your niche.
It's really helpful.
All right. Let's see. Oh, someone's husband grew up in Pleasant Valley. Anon. That's on here.
I think that's Lori. That's Lori because she said she.
Oh, that's Lori. It just came in as a different one. Oh, okay. I got it. Yes. And June said she loves Dave Ramsey. Yep. definitely a huge Dave Ramsey fan. And if you are a Dave Ramsey fan, I'm just gonna throw this in here while I have some of you still live. Next week, I actually host a monthly Twitter chat, and our book of the month is Business Boutique by Christy Wright, who is part of Ramsey Solutions. And we'll be talking all about her book and their principles and everything else. So if you love Dave Ramsey, buy Business Boutique. It's an awesome book. And they do conferences and things like that too. So.
And I'm going to send you a link to that section of my course, Jenny, that shows you how to use Twitter lists to build up your promotions. Because I'm gonna get you on that train.
Yes. No, I know. But I have used your other strategies and I've been putting them in place, and my Twitter is definitely growing, especially Jenny Melrose side of things. Like, that's brand new. So that's where I've really been using a lot of your strategies. So yes. I love it.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It was super helpful.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. I will be sending the replay to anyone. If you came in late, you'll still receive that replay, and you'll also receive a bonus that will be there for 48 hours if you purchase. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.